Morning, everyone. It's Paddock Paper Talk. I'm here again with all your news for this week. Right. Hello to everyone who's already been in the comments. Sorry we're a tiny bit late, but obviously, let's go into it. So, as you can see by the title screen, Timo Werner. Apparently, United want to hijack Liverpool's move for the striker because they want to go next summer. The interesting thing is he signed a new contract in the summer, a 3-year contract, but apparently the release clause is only £27 million. Now, for a striker of his pedigree, that's like ridiculously low, especially when you look at some of the other prices that are going around in the market. He scored 9 in 10 this season in the Bundesliga, and got 3 assists, but the 3 goals of that and 3 assists all came in his last game against Mainz, where he's got a hat-trick and a hat-trick of assists. That's ridiculous numbers. Now, I've seen some people commenting online how he could fit into like the number 10 role, and I had a little look into it, and I've had a look at his stats, and I'm just going to throw them at you, give my opinion on it. So he provides 2.4 key passes per 90, has 4.1 shots per 90, and he has 2 successful dribbles per 90. So, looking at those stats, he started out as a winger at Stuttgart. He was on the left-hand side of the attack, and those stats kind of contribute to what we're looking for, the striker that can link up with your Rashfords and your Martials. So maybe more than like slotting in when one of those is injured, play alongside and complement that sort of player. He's very direct going forward. That would be good against what our problem seems to be, which is breaking the low blocks. As you can see by his successful dribbles, he attempts quite a few dribbles. It doesn't attempt a lot more dribbles than he completes. I think he only has 0.4 unsuccessful dribbles per 90. So going forward, he's very good at getting past his man and then obviously taking the shots and being quite clinical. I think it's only about 800 minutes so far this season and 9 goals. So, and I think he scored 2 in 3 in the Champions League. Now, again, the issue stands with the fact that it'd be 3 strikers of a similar age and a similar sort of pedigree. You have Martial, Rashford, and Werner, and would they all be competing for the slot? And if we start playing 2 strikers, then one of them would drop out. And obviously, Dan James, when we've been playing 2 strikers, has been playing more forward up front. So that, again, adds to 4 options there. That would allow Dan James to drop more into the impact sub role. I mean, he's been playing well so far this season, but we need to see what over a full season what he plays like, obviously. And if he was to drop into more of an impact sub role as he's allowed to develop, then maybe we'd see him develop a lot more with a lot less pressure, a lot more time to make impact with his pace, and therefore be more prolific. Well, tell me what you think about that in the comments. Obviously, get your comments in. Talk about that at the end of the video. We'll go through it. We'll have a chat. You can ask me a couple of questions, what I think, and I'll see what you think as well. So, moving on to an out. Well, he's already out of the club at the moment, but whether he's going to be coming back is Smalling. He's been living up in Italy. He's been in the capital of Rome, playing for Roma so far this season, and Roma apparently are impressed with him. They want to make it a permanent deal. I've always thought Smalling's a decent defender. I've always thought Smalling would be the if we improve the defence, would end up being the obvious backup option. Apparently, he recently became the first English player to score for Roma. I mean, Roma haven't had many English players so far, but it's still an impressive start. Chris Smalling will always be the first English player to score for AS Roma, a club that has existed for more than 100 years. So that's ridiculous. And currently, as of this moment in time, he has not been dribbled past once. He has not been dribbled past. To put that in context, this season, Van Dijk has been dribbled past 3 times. Now, I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying Chris Smalling's better than Van Dijk, but everyone seems to be obsessed with stats. So, if we go look at it that way, numbers don't lie. But obviously, this great performances in Italy has drawn the interest of Milan, both Milan clubs, Internazionale and AC. According to Gazzetta dello Sport, we could see a bidding war because the reported fee was around 15 million that Roma were willing to pay to make the deal permanent.
Did you say the first English player to score for Roma?
That's what I saw online.
Name one other player that's played for Roma that's English.
There hasn't been one, has there?
There's been one.
Go on.
Ashley Cole.
Ashley Cole. He didn't score for him, though, did he?
That's it.
Exactly.
For 1 year.
Yeah, so Steve's just telling me that apparently there's only been one other English player. But I'm still letting Chris have that. I'm still letting Chris have the fact that he's the first English player to score for Roma. So, as I said, he'll always have it. He'll always be able to say, badge of honour. Badge of honour. So a final little tidbit of information we've seen online is that an interesting story about a centre-back. Mary Demiral from, I think I pronounced that right. If anyone's Turkish in the comments, let me know if I've murdered it. Apparently Arsenal and Man United are interested in signing him. Seen his minutes. He was joined from Sassuolo to join Juventus, and he's seen his minutes limited by De Ligt and Bonucci. I saw a bit of him in pre-season, and honestly, he made De Ligt look like a 19-year-old youth player because he was ridiculous in pre-season. He made a lot of good tackles. He looked to get himself about the pitch. Sort of what you saw just getting about sort of thing. But obviously, De Ligt's the big marquee signing, so he's took that place as being the starting centre-back. So you could see him leave the old lady, the Nezazori, as it is. I don't think that's right. Don't actually count me on that. That's probably Inter. But yeah, so we apparently are interested in it. I don't think we'll sign him. I don't think the story's got any legs in it whatsoever. We don't need a centre-back. We don't need one at the moment. We have Maguire, Lindelof. We have Tuanzebe, and we have Marcus Rojo, who, to his credit, has not played that badly. And we still have Phil Jones. That's worrying. We still have Phil Jones. Actually, no, we don't need him. We have enough centre-backs. We got rid of some of the centre-backs because we have a problem that we're overloading that position, and we didn't have quality in that position. So I don't see him. Arsenal need him more. Arsenal have David Luiz and Socrates. It's not the best partnership, is it? Especially David Luiz. I don't like David Luiz, as you probably noticed. Sideshow Bob. So, I don't think that story's got legs. That story, I don't think it's happening. The other two could do. Werner, obviously low release clause. A lot of clubs, I think, will be in for him. Bayern Munich is always the obvious one. And Smalling, I feel like if he's going to get an option to leave and play first-team football, he's going to leave. So let's get into the comments, shall we? Timo Werner is very similar to Rashford, so why will we sign him? I mean, he's more of an out-and-out 9 now in his development. Rashford isn't an out-and-out 9. I mean, Werner has that line of, obviously, he plays a lot of passes, but he scores a lot of goals. I mean, Timo Werner has moved far away from the fact that he used to be a winger, whereas Rashford is obviously more effective on the wing. And the thing is like you say they're very similar, but if you have two players who are very good at passing to each other and very good at getting in between the lines and getting good dribbles on, that's a lot more effective than having one who can get pressed out. Like you saw against Bournemouth, they just negated any sort of width and space for Rashford. So you have more than one player doing that. It's a lot less effective if you try and block them off. What do you think of United? Ashwin Ash has put, what do you think about a player? And I think a lot of people have put this in, the sort of creative player. United going after a player like Isco or Maddison for that creativity in the middle of the park. I've seen Ziyech, I've seen Bruno Fernandes, I've seen Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz is a big one. I'm very big on us going for Kai Havertz, but as most German players, I think his final destination is going to be Bayern, because I feel like he's the player that Bayern need. They won't go and spend 110 million on Coutinho. They'll go and spend 80 million on Kai Havertz. So I'm very interested in this. I feel like this is the sort of position we need. I feel like it's a position we might not go for in January. I think that's next season. Someone's actually reminded me. Eric Bailey, that's another centre-back I missed. But back to the attacking midfielder. I think the three very different types of players. Bruno Fernandes is a shot taker. He likes creativity. He likes to either create the shot or shoot the shot. That's a very weird sentence. But yeah, he's had 6 shots per game last season. He very creative, obviously, 30 goals, 20-odd assists. Very outside the box sort of player. Maddison, very good in between the lines. Maddison will play the ball about. He'll do that nice passing. He'll link it up very well. He's very good at that, and he was shown. And what he has over the other two is he has that pedigree in the Premier League. He's shown he can do it this season and last season. So I feel like he's the one I feel like United will go for more. And he's a United fan. Apparently, I've seen a lot of stuff saying this, and I've seen a lot of him at United matches. So that's probably another thing he would want to play for the team. And then obviously Havertz is a lot more of your direct attacking midfielder. He can dribble past players. He gets down the line. He gets into space. He goes for the box. You can like rely on Havertz to get into the box and be more of like your traditional like Rooney number 10 way supporting striker. So it's a very interesting way, and it depends on the tactics. I feel like we're going for which one of those players we sign. Havertz obviously also can play on the right hand side, which is another bonus to him because that allows for tactical flexibility, which we've seen used with Pereira. So that's the sort of, I mean, like that might be a hint. Like Pereira is a player that Ole seems to be using. He can play in through the middle and on the right. Havertz can also do that. So can Fernandes. I mean, all three of them can. I don't know. I want to see the signing. I feel like it's a signing we'll address, but we'll have to see. We need midfield signings desperately in January. Bruno, Maddison, Sancho, Koulibaly, Werner, we're winning the league. That's a lot of signings. That is a lot of signings. So you got Bruno Fernandes and Maddison, who both play the same position. I'm going to maybe have a bit of a go here, but I can understand where you're coming from. Bruno Fernandes and Maddison both occupy the same position. Sancho out wide, but would also, if we played that sort of player, we probably would lose another player in the attacking midfield. So those three kind of cancel each other out. Koulibaly, don't think we're going to get in January. Don't think we're going to get next year. He's obviously coming towards the end of his, he's 27, 28. They want 130 million. He's not a sort of signing we make. And we've obviously already sent 75 million on Maguire. And Timo Werner, obviously, we covered in this video. I think he'd be a good signing. And obviously, for the price. So James Radcliffe really wants Kante. He really does. I think everyone would. Great defensive midfielder. You're not going to get Kante out of Chelsea. The fact they got him for 32 million is disgusting. Like, what he did for Leicester was ridiculous. When you see interviews, you saw an interview with Robert Hoof, and it was like, how come you and Wes Morgan were able to play 30-odd games, or all games, and play that effectively? And he just went Kante, because Kante ran about. Kante's mad. We need to look for a player like that, I think, in the January window. I think that number 6 is important, and we've addressed and talked about that in other paper talks, so I'm not going to go over that again. If you want to look back, it's sort of like your Dennis Zacharias, your Parties, your Decores, all that sort of bit of stuff. So I think that's everything. I think that's all your comments covered. That's generally, like, we've had a good chat, a good talk. We'll be back again next Monday with all more news. Leave a like on the video, leave a comment, talk about who you want to sign, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Obviously, I'm always glad to see new people in here. Always glad to see new people to the channel. So that's all from me. Have a nice rest of your day, and see you later.